Hey y'all, I am at the beach and my lips are so ashy, child. Child, where is the chapstick this morning? But I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind actually since my son Mason went to Chicago. Like even before that, like the first time that I posted that he was going to live with his dad in Chicago, people were like clutching their pearls, child. Like, oh my God, what kind of mom sends her son off? The kind of mom who feels like she's out of alignment every time she thinks about being a single parent. All my friends have uh, heard me say, it feels so weird. I don't, I'm not a single mom. I'm not a single black mom. And I used to have a friend who used to always say, well, that's the reality of, who you are. You are a single mom. And what I wasn't saying is, it feels out of alignment. It doesn't feel right. Um, Anyone who I've shared my story with is aware that, it took me 9 years to conceive my son. And when I finally did, my ex-husband at the time began an affair with another woman. And throughout that pregnancy, there was a move all the way from California to Chicago. And in the midst of all those moves, child, Mason was actually a twin. I lost his sister at around 2 months, between 8 to 12 weeks. I can't remember, but it was during the time that we were moving to Chicago. And I started seeing all these specialists who all told me, you know what, go ahead, we'll give you up to 32 weeks to abort this baby. You're not going to make it, you're going to bleed to death, because I had had a myomectomy before that. And it was a pretty extensive myomectomy. I had 4 pounds and 5 ounces, child, of fibroid tissue that had to be removed before I could even conceive through IVF, which is very expensive, as everyone knows. So to say that my son was a wanted child is an understatement. I wanted Mason more than the air that I breathe. And, he is, the love of my life and one of my greatest teachers. But, after, I survived the labor. He and I both survived the labor, which his birth father was not there because he was in the midst of full on in his relationship with, the other woman. My good friend El Shakithi was there. Thank you, El Shakithi. She was a bit traumatized by almost watching me bleed to death. True story, but that's another story. But after all that, in the midst of that, I came home from my wellness check after I've been told, hey, there's something going on with your cervix. Looks like you might have cancer. And my husband's like, ex-husband's like, child, I want one of them good divorces, honey. So long story short, my last day of radiation, I ended up driving 30 hours with a 6-month-old infant who was born prematurely from Mississippi to California, homeless. All I had were the clothes on my back and a sleeping bag, and my son, who is, of course, my greatest joy. But, started my life over. And I didn't feel it at the time. The only thing I thought about was, you know what, this little boy has in his entire life. Let me do what's in his best interest. And, I got a job, I got a house, started working, got him a full-time nanny. My friend, my brother helped me for the first 7 months, take care of Mason. And by brother, I mean from another mother. Thank you, Jason. But it was overwhelming, to say the least. And during that entire time, I was like, I don't feel like a single mom. I don't feel like a single mom. But what I was saying, like I said earlier, was that I was out of alignment. In that there was something else I was supposed to be doing and something else I needed to do for myself to heal from everything that happened. And so when I made the decision to send Mason to go live with his father, It was very difficult for me. Mason had, been my everything. I couldn't even sleep without just kissing him all night and watching him. So it was very hard. It was very hard for me because I had to heal from, a 15-year relationship that was not, that was awful, honestly, truly. And I had to forgive my ex-husband for referring to Mason, our son, his only child, as a parting gift. I can't make this up. So when I posted that picture and said, oh, he's moving to Chicago, that, he's going to stay with his dad, blase, blase, a lot of people criticized me. And they criticized me to my face, and I know that they had conversations about it, behind my back, about, this girl done went crazy. She's sending her baby to go stay with his dad, and, his dad is this awful person. His dad was an awful person to me. Point blank, period. And he still is an awful person to me. But that's his karma. The way that he responds to me, all that, that's his stuff. I don't have anything against him. I don't have anything for him. Just take care of our kid, right? But, and I started to feel a certain way about people judging me for sending Mason to go live with his dad. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, what's the difference between him living with me and him living with his dad? That's his parent. I'm the parent. Just because I'm his mom doesn't mean that I have the manual on Mason. Child, no, that's a trap. And boys need their dads. Sorry. But I all these people who had something to say, when Mason was sick, and I literally did not sleep for a week because I would be up with him all night, go to work, come home, be up with him all night, go to work and come home, literally. I don't remember any of them coming over and saying, child, can I wash a dish? Can I bring you a plate? Do you need some respite for this weekend? When I drove 30 hours to bring him from Mississippi to California when we were homeless, I had one friend who opened their house to me. Not family. I had one friend, Tyann, who opened her home to me and my son. When I was out there needing a nanny and needing somebody to take care of Mason because I wanted to make sure that he was being loved on, and had somebody who just simply adored him, I had one friend who said, I'll do it. No ifs, ands, or buts, just yes. And that was Jason. So anybody else who have something to say, I literally have people who call me and say, oh, I miss Mason. You miss Mason? Child, don't call me with that. If you miss Mason, you would have been helping me take care of him. You would have been giving me respite on the weekends. The only people who helped me were the people who were actually engaged and involved. And that's not a criticism to anybody else. It's just that if you weren't there to help, don't get high and mighty now and tell me how much you miss Mason and oh, how long is he going to be with his dad? He's going to be with his dad until he's not. Child, I'm not worried about Mason. I'm not worried about his dad's learning curve with learning how to be a parent. It's time. Since Mason has been gone, I have opened a nonprofit. I have developed a 70-page business plan. I just finished my book. I have been working. I have been doing the work that my soul wanted to do 2 years ago. I should have never had radiation and then drove 30 hours with an infant son all the way out to California. That should have never happened. I should have had support then. I should have been able to take some respite then. But I was listening to the voice of everybody says, well, you better take care of your son, honey. You're going to be a single black mom. You better, instill everything and anything. That was a trap. What I really needed was somebody to say, it's okay to rest. I got you. A lot of times I think that we as, I'm not going to even say women, I think that we as a cultural, Black people, people of color, we put a lot of mommy guilt on people that's unnecessary. If it's not just up to me to raise Mason, And I know that's weird for people to hear, but it's not just up to me. It's everybody who's connected to me. One day Mason will come back home, and we'll be chilling and partners. But and yeah, I do know when that'll be. But that's between me and Mason's dad. Um, but if you had all this to say, child, while he was gone, then when he gets back, then give me some respite on the weekends. Then call me to see how I'm doing. When I put up a prayer request and I say, oh, well, Mason is sick, prayers needed, blase, blase, bring over something to eat. But otherwise, you keep all that to yourself. Don't try to guilt me into being a good mom. I'm already a good mom. What I do for my son, what I've done for my son has taken superpowers, literally, that I did not know that I had. But when you hear about another single mom, you hear about another woman, who's going out and working and taking care of her kids, stop chalking that up as just something that, that's easily done. That's not easy. When you hear about a single father who is out there taking care of his kids and doing it on his own, give that man his respect, because it's not easy. Even with the village that I've surrounded myself with, it was not easy. I still needed time for myself. I still needed a break. So, yeah, just stop. But that is my share. It probably came off as a rant, child. But it's something that's been on my heart and it's been on my mind for a very long time. And trust and believe, I have heard and I have seen and I have acknowledged everybody's opinions, child. But at the end of the day, you can keep those opinions. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with Mason. Mason's journey is perfect, child. And he is well provided for and well taken care of. So mind your business and take care of your own kids. How about that part? But anyway, I'm going to enjoy these waves, child. And I'm going to go and treat myself to something good today, because I have completed all the work that I set out to do 3 months ago. It's done and it's good. And I want to enjoy my life and finish the rest of my mommy vacation. Anyway, happy Wednesday, y'all. Thanks everybody for who's watching. I see you, Cleveland, Julie, Glenn, and Maria, Betty. But peace and riches, blessings. Love yourself.